Week 17 of the fantasy football season. Here's a few defense DST units. I have the sleepers this week. The first one, the New York Giants. So the Giants is a one-week streaming option out there in 86% of fantasy leagues. And they got a slam dunk matchup on paper at the Vegas Raiders. I give up the most fantasy points to defenses on the year. And also as well, Brock Bowers, he's out for the season, the next couple games with the knee injury that he's been dealing with on and off all season long. So the last few games for the Giants, week 13 at the Pats, they got blown out, 33 points allowed, 3 sacks. Week 15 versus the Commanders, 29 points allowed, 2 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries. Then last week, week 16 versus Minnesota, they held their own in that game but lost 16-13, 16 points allowed, 4 sacks, an interception, a fumble recovery, touchdown in that one. So they were putting big hits on J.J. McCarthy in that game. Obviously, he broke his wrist in that ball game was J.J. McCarthy. And this week, it's a good matchup with the Raiders where Geno Smith is taking a lot of sacks this season, turning the football over, and now he's down his number one option in the passing game in Brock Bowers. So with those factors, I think this Giant DST is a decent sleeper option this week. The next DST is the Carolina Panthers. So this Panther team, way better defense at home than it is on the road. And they're out there in tons of leagues at 92%. So I know Seattle is a high-powered offense for the most part. But Sam Darnold as well, he's been a quarterback that's been hit or miss this season. We've seen games where he's turned over the football 2 or 3 times in a game. He's taken some big hits as well. And this run game, for the most part this season, hasn't been existent really. Week 13 versus the Rams, 28 points allowed, 2 sacks, 2 interceptions, including a pick 6 and a fumble recovery. Week 15 at New Orleans, 20 points allowed, 5 sacks. And week 16 versus Tampa Bay, 20 points allowed, 2 sacks and interceptions. So like I said, this team offensively is led by Jackson Smith-Njigba, having an historic season, breaking a lot of records in Seattle Seahawks history receiving the football. But I think this defense, they're going to clamp down in this one. They're versing Sam Darnold, was on the Panthers for a season where he didn't do much over there. And I think this week, as a sleeper option, if you're in a pinch, the Panthers could be decent this week. And the final DST is the Dallas Cowboys. So the Cowboys, I know the defense isn't good this season, but I'm going off a matchup, and this week it's a good matchup at the Washington Commanders where Johnson's going to start this game. This Cowboy defense hasn't been good pretty much all season long, besides a couple games early in the year versus bad teams. Week 13 versus Kansas City, 28 points allowed, 3 sacks. Week 14 at the Lions, 44 points allowed, sack, a block kick. Week 15 versus the Vikings, 34 points allowed, an interception. In week 16 versus the Chargers, 34 points allowed. So like I said, they're giving up tons of points, 30-plus points per game over the last month of the season is this Dallas Cowboy team. But this week with Josh Johnson in there, quarterback, I know he's a veteran. He's been on 14 teams in this league. Dallas, they could go out there, get some pressure. Still going to give up their points, but I think pressure and a few turnovers is a possibility. And they're out there in 77% of fantasy leagues. That's a few defense DST units. I have his sleepers for week 17 of the fantasy football season.